Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates, and immediately go check out Keith's channel at 93 Lumber. What's up, Keith?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I will add him in the description box below, so real easy for you guys to check him out. Now, Keith, this beer is courtesy of you, so thank you. And tell us about it.
You're welcome. All right. It is from Free Will. It is their 2024 Hoop Driver. It is an apple brandy and bourbon barrel aged Scotch ale, and it is 13% alcohol by volume, which puts it more in the wee heavy category. But even at 13%, it's
still high.
Beyond any. Yeah. Where did I put my? Oh, there we go.
I mean, I'm super excited because, like those Ralphius, or Ralphiuses, the apple or the brandy ones, I was like really excited to try. So like to have this bonus brandy and the bourbon, different style of beer, Scotch ale versus the stout of the Ralphius. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what that barrel does.
I should say, not so much Scotch ales, but wee heavies are one of my favorite styles. So
that was an early style I liked, because you could get those, imports and stuff back in the day, but this falls under the category styles I like that I don't drink a lot, so it's another reason I'm excited. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's very brown, especially when I hold it up to the light.
Yeah, there's some red in there.
Yeah,
orange, maybe orange, maybe more orange than red. I don't know.
And I feel bad because I don't know if when I hold it up to the camera, if it's like, well, maybe you can see a little bit of orange and, it's very brown on camera. But yeah, when you hold up to light, you can see all the way down to orange for sure. Yeah, some red. My head went away pretty quickly. Not that I had a big head.
Yeah, I don't have much of a head. Mostly just a ring around the edge. Yeah, it's a little darker than khaki, I would say.
Yeah, good call on that. You want to get into the aroma?
Yes.
All right. All right, you start this one.
I'm getting more barrel aging than I am getting the beer, I think.
So I definitely get like the apple brandiness of it all. It's cool getting that much apple, and it's not an off flavor. It's not like the like the beer or something went sideways. I get more of that than the bourbon, but I do get bourbon. So I agree with you about the the intensity of the barrels. I get a nice caramel though, like definitely a caramelized sugar thing, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Get a little bit of alcohol heat. I think it is coming from the alcohol, the ABV, rather than, well, I think you get a little bit of both, but you definitely get some from the ABV.
It's interesting too, like, so I say caramel, I could see dates and dried, fruits like raisins as well, but it hits different than sometimes where I use those same descriptors for other beers. Like it's still those things, but it's not quite how I might get it in a barley wine or a quad, but it's still that thing, which is, so I don't know, it's just kind of cool to, again, a style I really like that I haven't had in a while, and then done in such a unique way with the two different barrels and this higher ABV.
Yeah, it smells good.
It does.
Yeah. Wish there was a little more beer in the aroma, but
which makes me curious about the taste. If it's going to have more of the beeriness of the barrel. Anything else about the aroma before we get into the taste?
No, I don't think so.
All right, man. Clink. Pretty good. There we go. Perfect. Cheers. Thanks again. This is really up my alley. Do you have some thoughts right off the bat, or where are you at with this?
I don't know if it's the apple brandy. There's like almost a spiciness to it, kind of like almost licorice or some sort of like something like that.
I can see that. Yeah, it's not like a rye spiciness. There,
No.
I wouldn't have pulled licorice, but I totally get what you mean. And yeah, that's interesting. What would be kicking it out? Like the base, some combination of barrels in the base beer.
Yeah.
I like that, at least, especially the first sip, but it happened on the second one. It's actually one of the reasons I took a second sip pretty quickly. There's this awesome sweetness, which I love sweet things, as I've said many times. But then so many things happen in this beer that it gets nowhere close to cloyingly sweet. The barrel stuff kicks in, the drying of the alcohol kicks in. You know, the spirit specifically, but also the oaky. Not that it's overly oaky, but like a little bit of the oak. I think like the aroma, I get more apple brandy than the bourbon, but I think the bourbon's helping to prop up the barrel aging character. I don't want to say it's generic, but I think that's more of its role here.
Yeah, because you don't get. I mean, if I didn't know this was bourbon barrel aged, I probably wouldn't say bourbon, but you for sure get apple, and you for sure get barrel. So I wonder if the bourbon is more for that barrel character rather than the actual bourbon itself.
And I wonder if that was intentional or if that's just what happened and they were thinking it'd be more 50-50, but like it definitely works because it adds, without adding intensity to the apple, it adds barrel, I don't know. It hits for me, and I get the dried fruits and like, rum raisin without it being rummy, but what's interesting too is I'm saying things like caramel and apple, but it doesn't quite like drink like caramel apple, like eating a caramel apple to me either.
No, it's like it's like caramel. I don't know. It's weird because for me, I get that caramel thing and that kind of spicy thing together. Or I get the caramel thing first, and then that spicy thing comes in right after.
And to me, there's overlap though when it does kick in. It's interwoven.
Yeah. But so it's like caramel. I don't know. I want to know what that. I want to know what that is.
I'm at this point, I'm actually all in on your licorice. Fennel seeds, like whatever, right? Like whatever thing, it does have that. And interestingly to me, this aftertaste as I'm talking, I still get that thing with some alcohol. So I am finally noticing alcohol, not too much in the taste, like it's not taking me out of the experience at all.
Yeah.
But the 13% is finally presenting itself in some capacity. It should drink big. I mean, it's a big beer. But it's almost like this aftertaste. If I had some Sambuca on the rocks, so it was like watered down a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised if I had a very similar aftertaste in my mouth at this point, because like just a little bit of this like fennel seed licorice thing. I don't know. I love licorice, just as an FYI. Like, so this is, I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I will say like the spicy thing, when you get it in the taste, it's not as like licorice or fennel or whatever, but in the finish, it turns more into that.
I get it Yeah, I do get a little bit in the sip, but the intensity is much higher in the as it finishes
Yeah.
into the aftertaste for sure. I mean, it's the main thing I'm tasting right now as I'm talking. Um, so going back to that, I like this style. I haven't had it much lately. This does drink enough like a Scotch ale, wee heavy. Like we're saying about the aroma, where we weren't getting much of the beer itself. The taste,
Mhm.
it's scratching that itch for me. It's like, oh yeah, like you like those flavors, and this is delivering style
Yeah.
wise how it should. And then it has this cool barrel aging as well, which is not something I would have necessarily thought to put together, the apple brandy with a Scotch ale, but it's cool. It works.
Yeah. I would like a little more beer in this, but that's just my preference. Not that it's not bad. It
Okay.
just
I'll put it this way. I would take more beer and I would take more bourbon, but I don't miss either.
you know
That's where I land on it.
yeah. I'm not really worried about the bourbon.
Okay.
The barrel character is cool. The
Hmm.
apple brandy is cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, when I looked at the bottle, it's the apple brandy that I got the most excited about. I've had, how
Right.
many beers have we had that were aged in bourbon barrels? Like they're still delicious. Don't get me wrong, but it's yeah.
Right.
So if I had to pick which of those two to shine, it'd be the apple brandy, and I'm glad it does. Um, but yeah. I mean, we're having similar thoughts, but it's okay not to have the exact same thoughts either. Despite our black sweatshirts and black t-shirts, we're not the same person.
I think but wee heavies and Scotch ales for me might be one of those styles that I prefer not barrel aged. I mean, I've had some good
Okay.
barrel aged ones, like this one included, obviously, but like I think it's one of those styles where it's like something that I prefer.
Just
Just
regular.
yeah,
That's interesting. I mean, I'm liking this so much, and it's reminding me of that of the base ones.
mm-hmm.
Hmm. Because I'm thinking like there's.
Oh god,
I was gonna mention too, because is it Wolver? Is that the brand, or is that it's like or Thirsty Dog has like a barrel aged wheat heavy, I think. But the one I used to get back in the day, I think it's an import. Is there a Viking on it? And it's a barrel aged. Oh goodness! I used to my.
oh,
I
is
think it's
it
a
the
Skull
Heinz?
Crusher.
Oh,
Maybe I miss, but I used to get it at Wegmans. Friends of mine, the wife is from Scotland, so once a year we do Burns Night, and we would try to bring Scottish beers. Maybe I'm getting my wires crossed, but I thought it was Skull Crusher. No, that's not it.
because I was when you said Viking, I was thinking, oh, maybe Einstock or whatever, that Icelandic beer. Is it Icelandic?
Skull Splitter from the
Oh,
Orkney Brewery.
oh, all right.
Sorry, Skull Splitter. Sorry. Anyway, going back to like barrel aged ones I've had or whatever. Not many. Um, are they even
Or
calling this? Yeah, they do call it a Scotch ale. Anyway, sorry.
maybe it's the 13% that's throwing me out of it a little bit. I don't know. There's something about it that, like, this is really good. I really like this, but there's something that's taking me out of it a little bit, and it might be the fact that it's like 3% higher than any wee heavy I've had.
That could be. Oh, you know what, Keith? Sorry, I am getting my wires crossed. It was that beer, and then it was the barrel aged one was not that one. It was Innocent Guns that we would bring to this event, and that's why I'm getting my wires crossed of barrel. Anyway, sorry. So I've not had many barrel aged wee heavies. Is my point.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, I mean, we both agree this beer is good, right? I mean, you like this.
Yeah.
You're landing on, but you still would prefer just having a wee heavy or just a Scotch ale without the barrel aging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I don't know what it is. There's something about this that is
I would say this has become something different. I mean, this is not,
yeah. Yeah.
you know,
This is yeah. It's probably just my expectations. I'm like,
okay.
oh, Scotch ale, wee heavy. Gonna love this. And then
Yeah.
it's like it's different. So I'm like, oh, this sucks. Not actually, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this hits for me, but it's sweet enough where it's like, yeah. And then it's got all this, it's very complex beer, which I like. And it's, in some ways, I mean, we both have hit on this. It's somewhat challenging in a good way. It's like, oh yeah, this isn't a paint by numbers beer where like we've had this beer 1,000 times and it's boring or something. It's like, it's
yeah.
cool. It's a little different. It's cohesive still. But yeah, I mean, we could, like I said, we disagreed about, I would take a little bit more bourbon, like, yeah, we don't have to agree about everything on this. Anything else we should say before we wrap this up?
I don't think so. Right?
No, I'm good. Yeah, we took a little break from doing Ralphius beers together. Or I guess we only did the one together recently. Well, no, anyway, depending how you define recently, we've either done 4 or 1. We've done 1 in 2025 anyway. Keith, thanks again. I really appreciate it. People watching, I say it every time. If you haven't done it yet, I don't understand you. Make sure you check out Keith at 93 Lumber spelled out. I'll at him in the description box below. Once you're done checking out Keith, be sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. There's no hype beer reviews of both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, Keith and everyone watching, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.